Hello everybody and welcome back. Do you know what, it's only been a couple of weeks, but it feels like about 6 months. Welcome back. Series 52 from RRLeagues and PitStop UK are joining us for this collaboration for the GT World Challenge. Give you an idea of where we are with that. There's your 6 races run over 6 weeks, so a little bit of a change from our normal bi-weekly format that we have. So for the next 6 weeks, every Wednesday we'll be at the circuit, starting today at Suzuka for a 90-minute, fairly endurance-y race. Next race at Zandvoort, you can see there in a week's time. That will be a sprint race. Kyalami, September the 1st. What a great race. That's going to be 90 minutes round there. Paul Ricard, a week later, 60-minute sprintish race. Bathurst there, you can see September 15th. And then the final proper endurance race around Brands Hatch, 2 hours to finish the series off. 50 people involved in this series, and that's a great sign up, and thanks to all the drivers for making this what's hopefully going to be a really successful season. I'm really looking forward to this to commentate on. Actually, my pleasure to do it. So let's see if we can get the race underway. Bear with me for 1 second. So I'm out of practice. It's been long enough. Give me a break. There we go. There we go. Oh, look, I haven't swapped my HUD from when I'm racing. What an amateur. What an amateur. You can see how good I am to do this on the fly. It's not options, it's settings, isn't it? I get into settings from here? No. Return to garage. Confirm. Options. HUD. It's not in there, is it? Oh, it is. Look. F margin, I think it's 2020 I need to get to. You can tell I've done this before, can't you? Every time I'll get in the car from a race on Saturday now and I think, why is my HUD all over the place? Oh, 2020. Oh, come on. There, and we'll just scale that down a bit so it's not in your face. Confirm. Is it still a bit in your face? Let's take that down a little bit further. There you go. You didn't know how to do this, now you know. Options. Hardware way. Let's take it down to 85. Confirm. Back. There we go. Bit easy to see now. So, yes, here we are. At Suzuka. Round 1. And I've got to say, just looking at some of the drivers on the grid and some of the liveries, they've really gone out. You can see there, looking at Andre Mol in the eBay liveried car, looking quite resplendent, I have to say. I'm just trying to find, I know what the team name is, but I've got to get it right. Struve Motorsport, thank you. Him and Jody Barraclough and Andre, 2 of the most talented, the right word? I want to say more than that, but some of the deliveries they come out with are quite spectacular. Let's see if Jody's on track. See if we can get a look at Mr. Barraclough in action. No, he's in the pits as well. Re-practice just running out, as you can see. Just a couple of minutes to go until qualifying begins. Who is out on track? Let's go and have a look at some liveries out on track, shall we? Mark Rosendahl here. Apologies if I'm murdering names tonight as well. Oh, he won't thank me for that. Welcome to the commentator curse. Mark's in there early with that one. You'll get to know what that is, PitStop UK guys, if you don't know. I apologise in advance if the camera cuts to you and you automatically lose control of the car. That's just one of those features of the games, I'm afraid. Good to see all you guys in chat. Martine, Tom, Clive. I know who Shorty Buzz is. That's Marcel, isn't it? And yeah, who else? Yeah, I can't scroll down that far because I haven't set that up either. What a loser. Never mind. We'll get there in the end. Thanks all for joining in stream. Much appreciated. I hope this is going to be as good as I think it's going to be. Here's Marcel Weiser, teammate of Mr. Rosendahl. Let's see if we can do the same to Marcel and get him to stuff it in practice, then that bad luck's out the way. Rosendahl, you may see it. Look at that top of the time sheet in practice from Jack Cavaletto. Marcel there goes third. David Dorian fourth. Felix Tazvinza Hacker. Sorry, Felix, if I got that wrong. You can kill me later. In fifth. Jussi Kaki there in sixth. Callum Morgan seventh. Fabian Schultz here in eighth. Ryan Leach ninth. Arella 10th. So you can see it's quite a mix of the old PitStop UK guys and the RR Leagues guys there fighting this one out. So a really well matched championship. And congrats to both admins for putting that together. Let's hope we have a fantastic race. Well, I know we're going to have one. And here they all come out of the pits for their qualifying. Nice to see them all taking it easy and coming out at nice intervals. First out, Ralph Arella, Team 77, teaming up with Simon Fillingham as usual. You won't miss that, McLaren 720. Nice. Oh, he wasn't first out. Look at that. That was that Rosendahl out before him. Anyway, there's Ralph, 7-time champion at RR Leagues. Last time out in the Porsche Cup in our last series. You know, remember that last race there at Imola? Him and Jack Cavaletto fighting out that final race with Ralph finally taking the spoils in that second race to take the championship. Oh, sorry, in the first race. I think Jack won the second race, didn't he? But it wasn't quite enough to take that championship there. So in good form is Ralph and comes into this championship feeling good. Although rare to see him in the 720, have to say. So it should be an interesting challenge for him and teammate Simon Fillingham. Speaking of Jack Cavaletto, I think he's out there on track. I just saw the rather fancy looking Bentley. There it is. What would you call that, Jack? Like a rosy sandy colour? Sandy rose? There it is in all its glory. Looking absolutely resplendent in that rather heat haze kind of colour. Sponsored by Schweppes today. And Jack a bit more used to the Bentley than Ralph probably was in that McLaren. So watch out for Jack today. High up the timing sheets in practice. Currently 23 guys on track at the moment. 50 signed up for the series, don't forget. A few unable to make race one due to summer holidays and the like. But still good to see 23 drivers out there. Hopefully we'll get a few more drop in as we go. Cavaletto starts his flying lap. Turn one, really a braking zone for turn two, although you've got to get it right on the marks. And they go through the centre S's here. Some people love this part of the track. I think it's horrendously tedious. But you do have to get it right to be able to get the times right. And they go up the hill through the final left-hander. It's gone to bonnet camp. There we go. It's a bit easier to see, isn't it? Down towards the Degners first. Degner, take that curb as much as you can there. And then brake hard for the second Degner. Again, clip that curb. Don't run too wide. And it's down towards the hairpin. Again, braking just after the kink to make it as awkward as possible. That's going to be interesting on lap one, as it always is. Keep it tight through there. Try not to get too greedy on the gas on the way out, or you'll find yourself in the barrier on the inside. And it's down all the way to what is one of the most famous corners in the Grand Prix calendar, Spoon Curve. Brake for the first part, let it roll out wide, and then try and carry as much speed as you can through the second part of Spoon. Let it run out wide, not too wide. Don't get on that sand over there. And up the hill. Past the club's pits on your right hand side. Up to 130R. Almost full throttle through there for Jack. Just a little lift on the exit. And then brake as hard and late as you can. This chicane. Clip both curbs. And then clip this one on the right hand side on the way out. And then carry it over the line. Keep it on the inside to get the shortest line possible. And it's a big run down to the line now. And there's a lap of Suzuka. No time for Jack there, was it? 2:090. Who else have we got on track? Mr. Rosendahl. Going up through the centre S's. Interesting graphics there, wasn't it, for a second? So, just getting my key binding sorted out. There we go. Thank you very much for that. Sorry to make you sick. So you can see Rosendahl's time there in the top of 2:00:039. So just a couple of hundredths quicker than Jack Camaletto. But you can see already 3/10 up on his time here is Rosendahl, and he's going to come across the line again. Keeps it tight to the inside there. Shortest run to the line. A quarter of a second better. It's going to drop into the 1:59s. He does a 1:59.826. But Camaletto just behind him. I'm sorry, just in front of him rather. Behind him. A 1:59.568. He's a little bit slow to update itself there. But Camaletto currently sits provisional pole from Rosendahl. Let's come aboard with James Mead. Currently sat in fourth. Wiesner there just puts in a time to take him up to second. That's one of the guys there just running wide to give Mark James a little bit of room here. Currently half a second down though on his current best time, so unlikely to improve here, and I think he's backed off. Just seeing the traffic ahead to give himself a run at lap 2, or lap 3 rather. I say he's backed off. I don't think he has. He's now a quarter of a second off his best. I don't think he's going to improve, but he's trying his best. The delta's coming down, but not quickly enough. He'll stay fifth with a 2:0.318. Just a couple of tenths shy on that lap. There he goes round again. That's Ralph Varela we were talking about earlier. Currently sat in 6th. He's 3/10 up on this lap, so he's looking to get into the 1:59s if he gets this chicane right. Tyres should be coming up to temperature now. Up to pressure. Nice drive there from Ralph. He takes it wide around that corner. He'll lose a little bit of time there. Not too much though, but this is going to take him just into 1:59s. 1:59.961 for Varela. That takes him up to 4th. This is Mead again on his lap. It's picked up a quarter of a second. It just lost it around the chicane there. That ebbed a couple of tenths away. So I'll go back to Mead in a second. Gianluca De Luca's not far behind him. Now, rather nice platinum. Is it platinum? Yeah, platinum. We'll have platinum. Works for me. Aston Martin with that rather nice black accents and dark blue. Yeah, I really like that. Cobalt blue. Gianluca De Luca just going through. Mead in front of him. Mead still a couple of tenths up. Is he going to run into traffic though? Literally. You see the Castrol Audi there. Just slowing Mead down. Yeah, he might have done better just to give himself a break on that last lap and give him some time. But he dobs into the pits. As Gianluca De Luca behind him does. Nigel Wood also just jumping into the pits. Coming out the pits is Felix Hacker. To start his outlap. In Schultz in the pits. Who else have we got out there? Ryan Leach. The PitStop UK admins. Just coming around Spoon. Nice little couple of tenths there. He's still up on his time. Just see if he can take it through 130R. Oh, just lost it. Went wide outside of track limits, unfortunately. He'll be kicking himself for that. But that's the end of that lap for Ryan Leach. And he's going to try one more. He's Downing. Currently sat down in 13th place. Teaming up with Anthony Pellicano, I believe, for this race. Or for this series, rather. I do know what their team are there. Last Road Racing, there we go. Nice, clean and crisp livery for those guys. Be easy to see that one. So I do appreciate that if nobody else does. And you can see his time there has gone red. So nothing there. Here's Cy Fillingham, Ralph Arella's teammate. Currently sat down in 14th. Cy's car's got the pink flashes on, as you can see. Keeps it in bounds there. He's just a smidgen up on his best time. If he can nail it through the chicane here. And he has done. If he can just get it out as well. A couple of tenths up, tenth and a half up. Going to come down the straight. He really needs a toe off somebody, but no one's there to give it to him, unfortunately. So he will improve. Goes up to 12th as Fillingham. So a nice job for Cy. Here's Schultz. Got a feeling I might have missed his livery in the livery pack because that looks very carbonate. Apologies if I have, sir. I shall recheck that for the next race. Oh, just seen, guys, no game sound. That's my bad. I do apologise. Helps if I show the chat, doesn't it? I need to give you guys my phone number so you can ring me when something goes wrong. Either that, or you can always just jump into our Discord. I am in the commentary box, but you're welcome to come and join me. Any point during the race, if you see something that I've missed, feel free to jump in. This is a nice, I say a nice fun series. I think this is about as serious as it gets, but from my point of view, nice and fun. So if you feel you want to jump in, please do. Here's Andre Mole from Strive Motorsports, as we said at the start there. Lovely eBay liveried car. Congrats to Andre and to Jody for designing that one. It looks absolutely fantastic. Maybe have a little livery vote at the end of it. Who's got the best livery? I think you've all done a cracking job, and the time you guys put in, I think, is really useful. Oh, Bentley there just pulls back in front of Arella behind. I hope that doesn't put Ralph off his time. This isn't going to count for Molt. He's gone red. Nico van Hock is in the pits. Jas Forsberg, haven't seen him yet. Rather resplendent green and white Audi. Looks rather lush. He's a tenth or so up now as he comes down towards Spoon. Let's see if he can improve. So easy to make time up in the first part of the corner and lose it on the second, and vice versa. But see Jazzy just scrubbing the time off there on the exit. So difficult to get both parts of that corner correct. Keeps it in track. This Jazz doesn't feel like a lift there. Brakes hard into the chicane. Slightly quicker for Jazz on this lap. Stick it to the inside, mate. Don't go wide. And he's going to literally match his last time round. Yeah, I know, Marcel. I see you in chat, mate. I was going to say Jack's looked pretty good. But I didn't want to piss anybody else off by miss other people off as well. So that's why I came in with the caveat that they're all excellent. But yeah, Camiletto's paradigm shift car. Camiletto teaming up with Radek Pavlicek for this championship, as he did in the Porsche Cup as well. You can see Radek's car, not the gold colour car, but it's got a more of a cyan kind of purpley tinge to his. Same kind of gradient. So you can't mix those up. Those two are teammates in the Bentley. To be fair to Radek, he's missed out on some practice for this race. He's been away from sim racing for a little while. A couple of weeks off. Literally back in the saddle for tonight. So watch out for Radek later in the season. He's one of the stars of RR Leagues. They're all stars, aren't they? Where's the PitStop UK, guys? Let's have a look at those guys, because we've currently got provisional pole sitter. Although he won't be improving this lap. This is not gone through on this lap. Camiletto still sacking third. One person we haven't looked at, Yusi Kaki, although he goes wide. Out of Degner 2 there. So that's not going to count for him either. That wasn't Degner 2 actually, that was... yeah, it was. Thought that was on the run down to Spoon, but no, through the hairpin, so that won't count. He currently sits in third. Visor there is in the pits. Rosendahl's teammate. So those two guys look pretty good for championship honours if they can carry on with that performance throughout the races. We've seen Arella currently a little bit quicker on this lap. A couple of tenths up into the chicane. Can he hold it on the way out? He can't. He's just lost that time. He'll be annoyed with that. So Ralph won't improve. He'll stay fifth. Callum Morgan. RR Leagues on the back there, but I think as much a PitStop UK driver as he is an RR Leagues driver. Real hybrid championship whore is Callum Morgan. Oh, and that's not going to help him either. Gone very wide there out of 130R. That's not going to count. You can see Camiletto just coming up behind him. Is that going to ruin Jack's lap? I think Callum's out of the way just in time, although Jack would have been put off by that slightly. He will get the benefit of a slight tow from Morgan down the straight. Didn't improve in the last lap. 3 tenths off. Be interesting to see just where he was coming into the chicane behind Callum Morgan. Who else haven't we looked at in practice? Gianluca De Luca is out there again. We had a quick look at him earlier. Ryan Leach we've seen. Andre Moll we've seen. But Nigel Wood was in the pits last time. He's still in the pits. Fabian Schultz is out there. Fabian. I hope I've missed that livery as well. I thought I've got them all downloaded, but obviously... Where's Fabian? I'm sure it's Fabian. Fabian or Fabian. He won't get offended, will he? He will do that now. I've seen him go into the ditch. So let's go and find somebody else. Mr. M. Twaden. I know that name. We had a charity race, PitStop UK, which I took part in around Silverstone. And this guy outbraked me into the chicane. Fortunately, I saw the move coming a week last Thursday, because that's how late it was posted. And yeah, watch out for some interesting moves from Mr. M. Twaden tonight, because that scared the heebie-jeebies out of me, let me tell you. And just runs wide there through the centre S. It's easy to do at the top of the hill there as you try and look for some speed. He's back in the pits. Mike Wyatt, the purple Bentley there. Tejera, rather resplendent looking Porsche. That's beautiful, look at that. Portuguese flag. I think there's another teammate with the Welsh flag on the side as well. Always good to see. He's quicker this lap though. Tejera comes across the line at 2:019. Decent lap, but he finds 30th position out of 33, which just goes to show you the pace of some of these guys tonight. This is going to be a proper race. Best lap so far, Rosendahl 1:59.559. And bearing in mind this is a 2-minute lap, a couple of seconds is 30th position, so this is going to be close all the way around. You see Nico van Hock's put up a time in there to go 16th. Blake Voth we haven't seen. Currently sat P29. He's down on his time here. But Rosendahl's in the pits. It looks like he's going to be your pole sitter. Camletto also in the pits. Morgan. Hacker. Kaki in 5th. It's the only one out there that can improve. He's 2/10 up coming down the straight. 2/10 on his best. Hugs really tight to the wall. This is going to be close. 2/10 up. Puts Jussi Haki there in 3rd. Jussi Kaki rather. Kaki. Well, whatever it is, Jussi puts it into 3rd there. Lovely lap at the end, just to mix the grid up a little bit. So there's the grid line up. 3 minutes for them to get their car sorted out and put it into race trim. So Rosendahl and Camletto. Rosendahl on the left there with that I'll call a BAR style car, split down the middle, 2 colours on either side. Looks very, very nice. Camletto there on the right in the gold and black Bentley. Kaki there, you saw him put that lap in 3rd. Morgan up to 4th. That was a great lap from Callum Morgan there in the end. Felix Tazvinswa Hacker in 5th. Weezer there in 6th. Dorr and Arella 7th and 8th. Mead 9th. Schultz there in 10th. Gianluca De Luca 11th. Ryan Leach 12th. 7th row, Moll and Schultz. Wood, Van Hulk, Fillingham, Downing, Pavlicek, Cleaver. And then from there, it won't let me scroll. Top 20, how many more do you need? I'm sorry to the guys at the back, but there's your incentive to improve the next race. So here we go. Let's try and keep up with this as we can. Just making sure we're in the right. Please no Pontorino. Hearing you, man. Keep it nice and clean through turn 1 and turn 2. I've got a feeling at Suzuka, everyone's pretty close through there, but keeps it clean. And then they forget that there's a hairpin half the way around the lap, and that tends to be where we see a lot of the midfield incidents. So we'll take a look at that when we get there. But I've got a feeling they'll be pretty good through turn 1, 2 and 3. Famous last words from the commentator. He's always good for that. Drivers are just about to start their engines at the 30-second mark. Just get the timing screen right so we know where we are. There we go. That's the one we want. So here we go. The cars keep 60 kph through the final part of the lap. There is no ghosting on this, so the cars can collide with each other, so you need to be very careful, especially through the chicane. And go through the chicane side by side and then down towards the straight they go. Rosendahl will take the green light, but it's quite a distance down towards the lights when they go. Here we go. Look at that, what a sight. See the red lights, watch for them to go green. Come across the line, there they go. And they're away. A better view from here. So good start from Rosendahl. Camiletto stays in second, Kaki still third. Morgan stays fourth. Nice and clean towards the back as well. Nothing much happening back there, that's all good. Nice and clean, guys, well done. Oh, a little bit of a nudge there. McLaren's just gets a little bit of a nudge. Further back it's all clean. It was Camiletto, I think it was Fillingham wide through the centre S's. That's all looks clean through there. Anyway, Rosendahl is already up the hill and away. Through the Degners he goes, 1 and 2. Camiletto second, Kaki third. Morgan still fourth. In fact, Hasvinder Hacker's now got up to fourth. And here they come through the hairpin. This is where we want to keep an eye on the midfield. Make sure it doesn't get too hairy through here. All looks good so far though. Oh, look, there was one there. I think it was Barraclough. It was. It was Barraclough, it looked like there. Just try and get the replay of what happened. Coming together, if we can find it. So they go through Degner 1. I think it was him and is that Arella? It looks like it. And they come down towards the hairpin. Oh, and there's a bolt up the inside there from, oh, I can't see who that is. But yeah, really naughty move up the inside there, and Jody Barraclough is going to be pretty pissed with that. So he's at the back of the field. Meanwhile, out in front, making good time. Rosendahl already 2.5 seconds ahead of Camiletto. He's got Jussi Kaki right behind him though. There's a view from Kaki's front splitter. Bit high for a splitter. Front bumper. Camaletto just biting the turn inside of Degner 1, tight through 2, really close behind as well. James Mead right up behind David Dorr. You can see Morgan just in front of these guys, right up with Hacker as well. It's all tight behind Camaletto. Back to Mead here, right behind Dorr. There's a little bit of a gap open up between him and Visor there in 8th. Norella's just behind him in 9th. Gianluca De Luca brings out your top 10, but he's got Ryan Leach right behind him. Fabian Schultz there in 12th, Andre Mole 13th, Van Hogg 14th, Aaron Cleaver down in 15th, from Jim Britton, Nigel Wood, Jas Forsberg, Fillingham, Pavlicek, Binnersley, Voth, Tejera. And further down the field we go. Got Peck behind Tejera. He's making a move up the inside there of Fredriksson. And I think it's Dusan Magyar that had that incident earlier. Is it a Honda? It didn't look like a Honda in that. No, there's Dusan Magyar. That's the Honda. Don't know who the blue car was. Was it Fredriksson? 267 it was. I think that's the car that was involved with Jody Barraclough earlier on. Further back, Schultz in the pits there, it looks like. Yeah, Schultz is in the pits, as is, looks like Magyar behind him. So those two in for an early pit stop. That front of that McLaren seen better days. That's always had a big off. So Schultz is in, Magyar just behind him. That leads M. Tweeden at the back, running round. That Castrol liveried Audi trying to catch up to Downing and Barraclough at the back of the field. But meanwhile, up front, Rosendahl still leads. Camaletto's managed to just pull out a little bit of a gap on Kaki, who looks like he's made a bit of a slight error, as Hacker's now all over the back of him. There is Felix Hacker. Callum Morgan trying to hang on to the back of him. David Dorr in the Tangerine Mercedes, but James Mead just behind him. And Kaki deep into the chicane there. Is that going to give Hacker a decent run down the straight? We'll see. Just looks like that Aston's a little bit quicker down the straight than the Porsche. So they live to fight another lap. Rosendahl, Camaletto, Kaki, Hacker, Morgan, Dorr, Mead, Reiser, Arella and Gianluca De Luca rounds out your top 10. So you can see there, sorry, Visa and Arella now starting to jump onto the back of James Mead. So it's starting to become a little bit closer now. 7 minutes in, so tyres will be up to pressure now, and they'll be starting to be on their true race pace. Although don't forget, these guys will have a full tank of fuel-ish. There's one mandatory pit stop today where they must take fuel and tyres. They're free to do more than one, but one is all they'll want to do. But when they want to do that and how much fuel they've got in their car, another question entirely. Of course, the more fuel you carry at the start, the quicker your pit stop will be, but the slower you're likely to be at the start of the race. So all those things to weigh up. But up front, it's like Mr. Camaletto has got a real race on. Rosendahl now 2.5 seconds ahead of Camaletto. Kaki second behind in third. Tasvinzwa in fourth. Morgan fifth. Dorr sixth. James Meach looking Harry in seventh. Gap back then to, I say a gap, it's not really a gap, is it? Back to Weiser there in eighth. Arella's ninth. And behind the Lucas, Leach, Schultz, Van Hulk, Aaron Cleaver up to 14th, Britton 15th, Woods 16th. Billingham, Pavlicek, Binnersley up to 19th, Blake Voth 20th. Andre Mole's just dropped down slightly down to 21st. Peck and Tejera behind him. This battle between Mead and Dorr looks like it could go on for some time, because Dorr's going to be stuck the pace really behind Morgan if he can pick up onto the back of him. So it may be a train really until the round of pit stops. Further down the field, Nigel Wood has got a bit of a brouhaha kicking up behind him. Fillingham in 15th, sorry, in 16th behind Wood. Pavlicek just behind him. Binnersley. Those four guys, all RRLeagues regulars. Blake Voth back of their stop, and then McLaren there in 19th. Andre Malt in the eBay car, sister of Jodie Barraclough, had that unfortunate incident at the start of the race. And you can just see him at the back there in 20th. So a group of 6 there. Peck trying his best to try and get back onto that as well. Jump back up front though, because Morgan, in fact David Dorr, finds himself in 4th position here. Morgan must have made a bit of an error. So Rosendahl, Camaletto, Kaki, Dorr 4th, Morgan just behind him in 5th. Mead 6th, Weiser 7th, Arella 8th, Luca 9th, Leach 10th. Have we lost somebody in that pack? So Dorr with 4 cars behind him, but a bit of space in front of him to try and make some ground up on Jussi Kaki. So there's Camaletto just going through the bottom of your picture. Kaki there in that rather lovely racing green car with the, I like to call it Prince of Wales feathers, but they're not. But it does look like that. That's the kind of car it should be, especially as it's an Aston as well. Teammate James Mead just behind Morgan in 6th place. come through the Degners. Nice line and clean through there from Door. Just runs it out a little bit wide though. Actually, a Degner 2. And down towards the hairpin they go. None of them really wanting to make a move at the moment. Fairly content just to keep in the slipstream of the car in front. Keep close and wait for a more realistic opportunity. Hairpin's always great, but you do kind of close your cheeks and hope. So Rosendahl, Camaletto, Khaki. A little bit of a gap then to Door, Morgan, who you're watching there. Morgan goes wide through 130R. I feeling he might get a little bit of a warning for that as well. Oh, and he tries to keep the position, and unfortunately collides with James Mead in his attempt to keep the position. Not the best rejoin you'll ever see. And James Mead will now be rabied behind him, as it looks like he makes a move on a RRL. The inside into Spoon, he does. So nice driving from the leader's teammate. He moves up to 7th. RRL drops back to 8th. DeLuca up to 9th now. Ryan Leach in 10th. Nigel Wood still got Simon Finnegan behind him. Right behind him. So they go up through the centre S's. Finnegan has got Binnersley behind him in that rather striking Binnersley-esque Bentley there with the obligatory pink flashes. They're chasing down Jim Britton in 14th. Those of you that have played Race Room or indeed use it in Assetto Corsa, not really as much used in Assetto Corsa, but still useful. Crew Chief, that is Jim Britton. He is a developer of that particular piece of software. Essential really for all sim racers. Really proud to have him as an RRLeagues driver. He's currently sat in 14th ahead of this battle between Nigel Wood and Cy Fillingham. Fillingham really close on the back here now of Wood. A nice move up the inside of Spoon there. That McLaren just getting a turn in on Wood's Ferrari. The ACC first came out. I drove that McLaren for some time. It's a lovely car if you can keep the balance of it right. And it looks like Binnersley's going to have a move out on just Ruddy Run. Oh no, nice move from Binnersley. Bites the inside of 130R. And Nigel Wood finds himself 2 spaces back in the space of 2 corners. Nigel Wood currently in good form, has some really good performances in ACC recently, but currently finds himself down in 16th, which does actually show you just how strong this field is. Blake Voth behind him in a similar coloured car to the Team 77 guys. Completely separate. And Andre Moll behind him. Anyway, back up front. There's Mark Rosendahl. We haven't looked at him much all race. That's because he's 3 seconds ahead now of Jack Camaletto. Camaletto coming round the hairpin with Jussi Khaki, and another big gap of 3 seconds or so to David Dorr. And then that's where the fight is, as we've been watching. Dorr, Morgan, Mead, Isa, RRL and DeLuca just a bit off those guys. And David for using that livery. Looks great. Only because I used to use it. But fair play. Teammate in this series with Robert Horvath, who is not. Robert's not in the first race, unfortunately, but he'll be back for the others. So David racing with no teammate today, but up to 4th already. Morgan looking again there, and he just pushes James Mead wide again. Those two are going to have an interesting talk in the pits later. Oh, Morgan just gets a slide on there out of the final turn. But James Mead in the background there will be hunting down Callum Morgan for the next hour and 10 minutes. Just to give him a salute. Morgan looked up the inside of door into the chicane, realised he couldn't make it, but when he came back, didn't look to see James Mead already beside him, and pushes Mead wide onto the grass. But should not really swap. Well, you shouldn't really. No, it should really. You should not move in the braking area. So Morgan already with a couple of incidents with James Mead, and the only one that's come out of it well is Callum Morgan. So these three pretty much gap now. Where else is it kicking off down the field? Let's go and look at the Gianluca De Luca battle with Ryan Leach. So De Luca in the Aston there, he runs just okay out of spoon. Leach, Callum Morgan's teammate, just behind him in 10th, and Fabian Schultz behind him in 11th. If we get them back to Nico Van Hock, you can just see in the background that dark Audi. And Hock's got a bit of a gap then to Aaron Cleaver, nearly 5 seconds or so to Cleaver. The field really starting to spread out now as they all deal with their own little incidents and accidents. You can see there's James Mead going through there, and De Luca really not that too far away from the back of Mead. So Dort, Morgan, Visor, Arella, Mead, De Luca, Leach and Schultz all within a second and a bit of each other. And Van Hock desperately trying to hang on to the back of that group as well. Going back up to the door battle. It's getting a bit closer again. This time it's Visor behind Callum Morgan. In fact, let's go on board with Marcel Visor. That's the view from his Porsche. That's the first part of spoon. Coast, a little tap of the throttle mid-corner. And there he goes up the hill. After he's off through 130, I remember these cars with a sizable fuel load. Morgan thinks a little bit too much grass. Through they go, Dort, Morgan, Visor, Arella there in the, it's not turquoise, is it? Light blue we'll call it for now, and yellow McLaren. James Mead desperately trying to get back on terms so he can take his fight back to Morgan. De Luca, Leach and Schultz as close as they were. Ryan Leach really looking to make a move here on De Luca. Be a miracle worker if you can get it to do it through the S's. Just ask Eddie Irvine and Michael Schumacher. Down they come to the Degners. Not really a chance to overtake out of the first one. Second one and the run to the hairpin. That's the one. So here they come up through the fast right kink into the braking zone for the hairpin. Nothing doing there though, although DeLuca a bit squirrely on the exit there. Gets it all caught up though. He's away down towards Spoon. Leach rolls it through. Spoon on the power early. He's got a good run here. Up the hill they go. Is he going to get past DeLuca? Balls out for the outside line. Up the hill, DeLuca takes the defensive line on the inside, and Leach is going to have to defer there to DeLuca. And DeLuca again takes the inside line into the chicane. Defends well. Good driving from DeLuca. And Leach. Schultz behind, just waiting for the two of them to end up in the gravel. This time, Leach has got the drive down the straight. They go towards turn one. He now has prime position. DeLuca will have to be really gritty to hang this out round the outside. He does. Oh, wow. And just runs out of grip on the outside. That was always going to be a hard move. He needs to keep it on the inside now to keep the first part of the S's from Schultz, and he does. But nice move from Ryan Leach. Good defending from DeLuca, but just not enough grip or tarmac as he came out of turn two. But good attempt. So, run down Rosendahl, 3 seconds. In fact, Cavaletti just pulled that back slightly, 2.8 to Rosendahl. He's pulled out 3.7 on Kaki. Door behind him, same sort of gap, 3.7. He's pulled out a second and a half on Morgan. Morgan, Visor, Arella and James Mead now all joined together. There's Door. And then there's the gap then to Morgan, Visor, and Arella will just appear in the bottom of your screen shortly. And James Mead has got back on terms now, Arella. Will hope to jump a few places back in the pit stops, but while he can still see Callum Morgan in front of him, James Mead will be more than happy to chase him down. So Morgan, Visor, Arella, Mead. Get back to Leach, DeLuca, Schultz, Van Holt. Let's kind of look a little bit further down the field while these guys are all getting the TV time. Here's Jazz Forsberg. Oh, commentator curse. Oh my god. I'm sorry, Jazz. Let's move quickly on. Here's Mike Wyatt in 26th. Clive just saying in the chat in stream, he did have a look at Cal's on board from his stream. And Mead was a little bit later on the brakes because obviously he didn't expect Callum to be there. It did look like Callum moved across in front of him, and then Mead had to bail on the inside onto the grass to avoid an incident. But yeah, Callum moving there in the braking zone. You need to be careful about that. But anyway, on we go. Mike Wyatt suddenly back here in 26. Let's have a look a bit further up. M. Tweeden right behind Parry. And that's Petter Peck looking up the inside there of M. Tweeden. Nice move from Peck. I think that's Peck anyway. No, that's Peck. It was Peck. Oh my god, it was Petter Peck. What's Petter doing down in 29th? He's been up and down like a horse draws all day, hasn't he? What's he doing down there? Having a bit of a fun time at the moment is Petter Peck, racing another series that are racing, and those of you who know how I drive, he was racing me at some point during that race. That shows you how much Petter Peck is struggling at the moment. But yeah, he's down in 29th. Where else have we got on here we haven't seen today? There's Chris Downing, teammate of Anthony Pellicano. He's right behind Blake Voth, and he's got Fredrickson just behind. No, it's not Fredrickson, isn't it? Car number 42. That's Schultz. So I think there's a few cars out of time in here. So Downing in the Bentley just behind Voth. It looks like Schultz is a lap down on these guys, trying to make his way back through the field. Schultz has made his pit stop, so remember the guys have to make one mandatory stop tonight. Schultz, Forsberg, Peck and Magyar all in. We saw Magyar and who was the other one that came in earlier with damage? But we've lost 3 cars, it looks like, out of the 33 started, only 30 remained in. That's a bit of a shame. Can Downing get past Voth here? And can Schultz, who looks like he's got some pace to be fair, get past the both of them after his stop? Doesn't come out in the best of positions if that was a tactical stop. Anyway, where are we back up front? His door. Morgan's pulled it back to under a second now. Guys at Arella and Mead all still there. The top guys yet to come in for their stop. All going through there as well. So Rosendahl leads Caminetto by 2.2. Jack Caminetto pulling it back ever so slightly, lap by lap. He's pulled out 5 seconds though on Jussi Kaki in third. Jussi having a bit of quiet race because David Dawes 3.5 seconds behind him. This is David you're looking at now. Morgan just behind him in 5th. Isa 6th, Arella 7th, Mead 8th. Bit of a gap then, bit of a gap. 8 seconds to Leach in 9th. DeLuca in 10th. Leach pulling away from DeLuca now. Schultz right behind DeLuca there in 11th. Let's go and have a look at that one. Let's come through the S's. There's Florian Schultz. I've been calling him Fabian all day, haven't I? I do apologise. Florian Schultz. Looking to get past DeLuca, and right behind them, Nico van Hulk in the Bentley. Bentley looks like it could eat that Porsche in one gulp. They're back behind these guys. Cleaverton 13th. Big gap to Fillingham, who's got a bigger gap on Binnersley. He's got Jim Britton right behind him in the Honda. Jim obviously having a little bit of an issue with the NSX today because he was ahead of those guys. Andre Mole up to 17th, Wood 18th, Pellicano 19th. I wonder, is it Jody Barraclough, one of those guys we've lost? I haven't seen his name on there, so I'm guessing Jod Barraclough after that incident at the start. Schultz, oh, bit of a bump there. Schultz looks around the outside, and that's given Nico van Hog a bit of a look as Schultz just wags his bum at him. What can Van Hulk do? Leach did to DeLuca earlier. No, the Bentley just doesn't have that ability to turn like that on a sixpence. He slots in behind Schultz as they go through the S's, so that battle will rage on. Up front though, Rosendahl and Camaletto, the gap down to 1.4 now. There's Jack behind Mark Rosendahl. All of a sudden, the race coming to Jack Camaletto. The tyres on that Porsche just start to lose a little bit of grip. Morgan behind these guys has dropped back. Door, Visor, Arella, Callum Morgan down to 7th. Oh no, look who he's got behind him. James Mead. Anyone got a hand grenade? Lob that in there as well, will you? Here we go, up the hill. Morgan up the inside. Morgan chops through 130R up to the chicane they go. So that's round 1 of leg 1 of round 3, I don't know, but yeah, rivalries renewed. Morgan and Mead back together on track again. Let's see how that one works out. Suzuka, Schultz and Van Hulk all close together there, 9th, 10th and 11th. Leach almost onto... In fact, Leach has dropped down the place there, hasn't he? Got past DeLuca. Ryan Leach, though, down there in 12th position now, having got past DeLuca, Schultz. I bet we haven't got that one, have we? See if we can find in the replays. I'm guessing we haven't got it. No, unfortunately not. But yeah, Leach down to 12th. Ah, Radek, of course. In chat, crashed on the exit at the last corner, smashed the suspension, crept the whole lap. Limited did not engage because of second gear. Got to drive through, and then after that you do want to give up, don't you? So looks like Rad, unfortunately, that lack of, he dashed into server tonight, lack of practice really. Unfortunately, that's Rad Pavlicek out of the race. So it looks like Pavlicek out. Jody Barraclough out. On we go. Anyway, sorry, my apologies. Looking at other things when I should be watching the racing. My apologies. If you go back to the Callum Morgan, James Mead battle. Why not? These two currently the closest on track, apart from DeLuca and Schultz. James Mead trying to tag onto the back of Morgan as best he can here. Morgan's got some pace, but it might be better just to hang back and let him take the fight to Arella, Visa and Dorr if he can get back on pace with them. Because there's only, what, a couple of seconds or so up the road to David Dorr. two really don't want to ruin their races fighting over a few toys spit out the pram. But anyway, here we go. Look at the inside. Morgan really pushing Mead onto that inside line. Mead bashed back in behind Morgan, and the two of them take it through 130R relatively safely, although there's a few middle fingers as they went up the straight there. They had time to look across at each other and wave, a gentleman's wave. Rella really pushing Visor there in front as well. And out the pits, nice waiting out the pits. That's a really good drive in there. I don't know the team, but as I didn't print out the bloody thing, I can't see who it was. My apologies, but whoever that was, I think it was the... Was it Tejera? It was. There we go. I was right. Bernardo Tejera, lovely driving out the pits, waiting for the two faster cars to go through or take into turn one. Applause to you, sir. Welcome to the series. Part of having fun when you're driving as a back marker is to respect those that are quicker than you. That's exactly what Bernardo did there. His fight isn't with them, and they will have to overtake the guys that Bernardo's fighting against, so they'll lose time as well. So fair play to Bernardo for doing that. Sign of a good sim racer right there. What's the gap up front? Rosendahl still 1.7 back to Camaletto. There they go. These two will be fighting out for the next 50 minutes. None of the first 20 though yet to come into the pits. And I'm coming up to pit window though. 45 minutes is the halfway mark, don't forget. And while Rosendahl's got a clean track ahead of him, which is exactly what he's got, he will keep going, as I feel Camaletto will as well. I'm guessing those two cars are fueled pretty much to the max to give themselves every possible strategic option they can have. Morgan and Mead separated by 2.5 seconds now, so I'm not sure if they had a contretemps there, but those two are separated now, fortunately. Buggies apart. Big gap to DeLuca there in 9th, 13 seconds from me to DeLuca. Still got Florian Schultz, get it right son. Florian Schultz right behind him, with Nico van Hulk, who's been there all the time. Fillingham 10 seconds behind that battle, with Binnersley behind him, Cleaver, Britton, Moll, Wood, Pelicano. And Moll comes into the pits for his stop, first of the top 20 to come in. I think Fredriksson in Sweden. Leach, who has stopped, so he was one of the top 20, so that'll probably apply first, I should imagine. Ryan Leach already having made his stop. So, end of lap 21, Rosendahl comes through. I'm guessing he will go through to complete another lap. He does. I should imagine Camaletto will follow him. He does. So those two go on. It's lap 22. Still at 2 seconds. As Moll comes out, the pits on the inside. Again, good driving from Moll, letting Camaletto through. So I think Moll jumped Leach there, and oh no, Leach is ahead of Moll. Yes, he is. Sorry, I thought Moll was out ahead of Leach, but he wasn't. Here's a battle between Door, Visor and Arella. Callum Morgan dropped 2.5 seconds, or nearly 3 seconds now at the back of this group. Remember, this was a group of 5 at one point. Door, Visor, Arella, Morgan and Mead. Morgan and Mead now have just lost pace as these 3 pull away. Rosendahl and Visor currently sat 1st and 5th. Remember, those 2 Maniac Mavericks team, I'll put them in a really strong position for the team championship. Camiletto has already lost Pavlicek out the race for Paradigm Shift. Usikaki with James Mead there in the second Maniac team. So they'll find themselves, if it stays like this, 2nd place in the championship. So PitStop UK 1 and 2 in the team's championship. But in the race itself, PitStop UK are 1, 3, 5 and 8. RRLeagues are 2. Have we just lost Usikaki? He come into the pits? He has. Usikaki's into the pits, as is James Mead. I was just about to do a 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 and 2, 4, 6, 8. They spoil it for me. God damn. So Kaki, Mead into the pits. Lauren Schultz also in the pits. Door just easing slightly away from Visor here. 1.3 now as Visor comes under pressure from Arella. Arella's teammate Fillingham up to 9th, although there are a number of cars that have pitted. Kaki, Mead, Schultz, Binnersley, Pellicano, and now Downing as well. Those guys are all in the pit. Stop and go for Kaki. Oh my goodness, he was sat 3rd, but speeding in the pit lane, that's really going to hurt Usikaki. He will be fuming in that car. Penalty introduced to really protect the pit lane workers, but 30 seconds stop go. That's into the pits, no work on the car, stop for 30 seconds and then off he goes again. That's effectively a 50-second penalty. That's going to see him push right back down the field, unfortunately, Usikaki. He's got a fight to get back up through the field. Interesting second half of the race for him, but that's handed 3rd place really to David Dorr here. All of a sudden, Visor and Arella see a podium spot just a second ahead of them, as Arella dives into the pits, slows down just before the line. 50 mile an hour, 50 kilometre per hour speed limit through there. That really is slow. As down he comes to his pit slot. Luca goes through, in he goes. And now look at the gap between Rosendahl and Camiletto. In DRS range. Not that the cars have got DRS, but anyway, sounded cool. Rosendahl, Camiletto. Here's Jack's helmet view. Coming up on a slower car. Hopefully that'll move to one side down the kinky straight. And the run down to Spoon. Might be, is it Jazz Forsberg? Possibly. No, a bit darker than Jazz's car, I think that one. Camiletto runs up the hill. behind Rosendahl. Big old Bentley. Lumping 5 tonnes. Trying to catch up to the lightweight Porsche. 130R. Now the Audi moves to one side. Through the chicane. Rosendahl, the leader, in front of Camaletto, just gets it wide as he comes through and follows Rosendahl into the pits. Breaks down to 50. That's how close your leaders are, first and second, into the pits. David Dorr also into the pits in third. He's followed by Visa and Callum Morgan. They're all coming through. Even the helicopter can't keep up. So, guess who currently leads the race? Nico van Hulk is going to come through. Unless he dodges in the pits as well. Oh, man. There is your chance. Chance for TV glory. Si Fillingham's going to take it, though. Fillingham comes across the line in a second. And depending where Rosendahl comes out, Fillingham is going to lead lap 25. Fillingham through to take Team 77 to the lead of this race. He's ahead of Rosendahl and Weiser, who are still in the pits. Where is Rosendahl? There he is, coming out there. So Rosendahl, where's Camaletto? Camaletto's going through turn 2, is that? It is. Where's Rosendahl? He's already up through the S's, so quick stop for Rosendahl. Not quite as quick for Camaletto. So that 1 second gap, well, was less than that as they came into the pits, wasn't it? Well, fortunately, Rosendahl making the most of that one. Whether he didn't have as much fuel to put in, I don't know. But Camaletto, mind you, it's a 30-second stop, of course, because they have to take tyres. So you can only assume that Camaletto must have missed his slot slightly. Because there's 4.5 seconds now between them. So Jack's got all that work to do again, unfortunately. But out in front, Team 77, Si Fillingham. Currently leads. 40 minutes to go. Let's hope he's fueled to the end. And can bribe the pit crew to say he did change his tyres. We weren't watching Si, honestly. To the chicane he comes. Oh, look at that. Drifts it through the chicane. That's how good this guy is. And this time, oh no, he goes through again. Fillingham leads his second lap of the race. Rosendahl 20 seconds behind, but Fillingham yet to stop. Camaletto in third. Nigel Wood's up to fourth. But again, Wood yet to stop. Is he going to come in on this time round? First is that Ferrari. Let's have a look. No, Wood's going to come through. So that Ferrari's got some juice in it. And Nigel Wood up to fourth. Visor behind him, who has stopped in fifth. He's jumped Arella in the pit stops. Arella down to sixth. Sorry, no, Dorr. Dorr down to 7th in the pit stop, so Weiser was ahead of Arella, wasn't he? But Dorr has lost that position. He's actually lost 2 positions to Weiser and Arella, and he finds himself down in 7th. Let's go and jump and have a look at that battle. Oh, there we go. Weiser, Arella, Dorr. And look, James Mead just behind them, having stopped as well. He's dropped Morgan by 1.5 seconds. So James Mead eventually gets ahead of Callum Morgan in the pit stops. And the battle recommences. These 5 have been at it pretty much all race. And the battle continues. Fredrickson into the pits from 14th. Just Fillingham and Wood left to stop. Weiser, Arella closes right up at the hairpin. Dorr Trying to get that AMG to turn. Doesn't turn like the McLaren, unfortunately. Trust me, this I know. James Mead and the Aston just behind him. And Callum Morgan 1.8 off Mead, trying to get on back on terms to carry this five aside through to the end of the race. Gap back to Nico van Hulk in 10th, who's got ahead of DeLuca in 11th in the pit stop phrase. Florian Schultz, unfortunately, still behind DeLuca, that half a second. That didn't happen for him, but it did happen for Van Hulk. He's up to 10th. Ryan Leach finds himself down in 13th, just ahead of Binnersley. Cleaver, Moll, Jim Britton there in 17th, ahead of Pellicano. And look, down in 19th, Yussi Kaki, after his stop-go, that's what it does for you. Watch him plough through the field for the rest of the race. That should be interesting to watch. Downing in 20. Fredrickson 21st. In fact, Teixeira has just got past Fredrickson to take 21st. Fredrickson 22nd and M. Tweeden down there in 23rd. Caminetto has got the gap back to 4 seconds. Rosendahl takes the lead as Fillingham pits. Wood though still out in 3rd. That Ferrari obviously got his battery charge hybrid, taking that fuel a little bit further. So just losing touch of Ravella here. He doesn't want to get me put under pressure from Mead, that's for sure. In fact, Morgan's ahead of Mead there. Did Mead made a mistake in the S's? I think he did. Perhaps he's just happy following Callum Morgan's bum. Who knows? I'll have to ask him after the race. Ravella really close in though. These are though just as good in that Porsche. He's away. Yep, keep voting on liveries in the chat, guys. They're all pretty epic. I must admit, I do like the half and half cars of the Rosendahl and Weiser team. I do like that quite a lot. It's a bit noisy at the back though, isn't it? But I do like the way they've done that. It's very clever. But yep, Team 77 and McLaren. Certainly in your face, that's for sure. Door looks like he just went wide out. He did at the final turn. That's allowed Morgan through. So David Dorr dropping down the field. He was in 3rd position, remember, prior to the pit stops. Now finds himself in 7th, and that's with Kaki having made that stop and go as well. So Dorr just needs to calm himself down and get back on it. In my time with RRLeagues, I've always known Ralph Ferrella and David Dorr to be really consistent and quick drivers. But over the last few months or so, a few errors have crept into David's racing, and that's not like him at all. And it's like anything, when you start losing a little bit of pace and you start chasing it, you start making errors, you start losing more pace, you make more errors, and it's a slippery slope. But David is well experienced, he won't be doing that, I'm sure, but just struggling in this phase of the race. A couple of errors creeping in, so he wasn't tight into that into the hairpin there either. I've always found it quite hard to keep the tyres on the Mercedes in some kind of pressure. You think you've got them where you are, and then when you come into the stop you think you've nailed the pressures, and when it comes out they always seem to react really wildly for 20 minutes or so until they start to settle down. Not sure if that's something in the game or if that's how the AMG really is, but it just doesn't seem to make logical sense. As Morgan, no, sorry, that was a back marker, my apologies. There's too many dark cars. Back marker just lets Mead get through at the chicane there. So on we go. Rosendahl still leads. Camiletto. You can just see him there, and yes, there's 2 cars between them. 4 seconds back. Nigel Wood still yet to stop in third. That Ferrari really going some. Already an hour into the race. Nigel filled that car up right to the brim at the start, I'm guessing. And then you've got this battle between Visor. Arella has also dropped about a second back, but Visor's just on the tail. Is that the Welsh one? I think it is. That's Downing, isn't it? No, Downing's in the pit stop. Sorry, the Anti-Pelicano's team. Easy for me to say. That team. You know, just print them out next time, Mike. Last Row Racing. Oh no, commentator again. Sorry, Chris. Moving swiftly on. Sorry, PitStop UK. I forget this is all new to you, isn't it? But yeah, if you're on stream, keep well hold of that steering wheel and just ease off the gas ever so slightly when you're on stream, because I will crash your car for you. Oh, I'm forgetting, of course, just reading in the chat, of course, David Dort had, how can I put this politically correctly, an operation on his posterior, and is in the seat tonight in some pain. So I take it all back, David. No one likes a sore arse when they're driving at the best of times. So, yeah, get that E45 out after the race, mate, and laugh it on. There's no better feeling. I don't know where I heard that. Anyway, that's why David Dorr is possibly down in 7th. Nigel Wood eventually comes in for his stop just in the pits in the background there, so he's going to drop back down through the field, drive through Chris Downing after I launched his Bentley into the wall. Unfortunately, his penalty for that is a drive through, so everything going wrong for Chris Downing there at the bottom of the field. It's just not the bottom of the field, midway through the field. My apologies, Chris. Although after a drive through, my guessing is you're going to be back behind Tejera, Fredrickson and M. Tweeden and back. What's Schultz doing all the way down there? What's happened to him? Oh, different Schultz. My apologies. We've got a Florian Schultz as well. Don't worry. By the end of race 6, I've got this. Morgan runs wide out of Degner 2 there. I'm not sure how strict the... I know that's a track limit violation, but of course in ACC you need to be able to gain time for it to count against you as a warning. 3 warnings and the next one's a drive through, which is probably what's happened to Downing. But certainly coming out of Degner 2, if you run wide off onto that AstroTurf, all wheels on the AstroTurf, that is one outside the track limits and normally gives you a warning, so Morgan got to be really careful there. Remember, he went really wide out at 130R as well earlier in the race. David all right using the edge of track limits there. Wheel could smell the grass as it went through, singed it even. But still, after 30 laps, Rosendahl leads Camiletto by about 4 seconds still. Visor now in 3rd. 2.5 ahead of Arella, just going at the bottom of your screen from Morgan. David Dorr in the orange Mercedes you've been looking at for the last couple of minutes. He's got James Mead right behind him. There's a gap back then to Nico van Hulk in 8th position. Here he comes, all alone in his Bentley. So a solid 8th for Nico there. Florian Schultz in 9th. He's got ahead of DeLuca eventually. Luca down to 10th. Bennesley 11th. Mole 12th. Leach 13th. Where is Simon Fillingham? What's happened to Si Fillingham? He's all the way down in 27th position. Remember, leading the race a few laps to go, and now all the way down in 27th. Oh dear. He went from almost hero to virtually zero in the space of a few laps. He's got to chase down Jazz Forsberg, Mike Wyatt, Parry, Schultz, Downing, M. Tweed and Fredrickson, Teixeira, Britton, Wood and everybody else to get back to kind of where he was. So I'm guessing Si's had either a pit stop nightmare. In front of the McLaren looks pretty okay. Can't see any damage at the rear either, so I'm guessing that was some kind of pit stop hash from Fillingham. But yeah, he's down there in 27th unfortunately. Let's kind of have a look at Cleaver and Pellicano. Cleaver in that Castrol Audi, Pellicano right behind him in the Bentley. And there you can see it's starting to get tasty. A few little looks into the hairpin now as the race progresses. 25 minutes to go. And look, ahead of these guys, Yusikaki already up to 14th. Following that stop and go penalty for speeding during his pit stop. So he'll be looking to make his way as far up the field as he can. Cleaver just pulled out a little bit through 130 yard there as a Bentley heaved its hulk through the chicane. It goes, that little Audi R8 looking very nimble. The Bentley looking like a brick, a quick brick nevertheless. Good shout, Martine Kennans in chat. Rick Binnersley up to 11th. Really good race from him, and good race as well. Nice to see from Andre Moll in 12th. Andre been struggling for a little while, not with anything in particular apart from really shitty luck, but Moll finds himself now up to 12th. I better not say anything else, had I? Let's be honest. He'll never forgive me. I can't deal with the Randy curse any more than he can deal with the commentator curse. So Cleaver, Pellicano, Wood right behind them as well after his long stint there. But Wood will be on really fresh tyres. Pellicano deep into the hairpin. And on they go. These guys about 5 seconds or so behind Ryan Leach. Yusikaki now ahead of Ryan Leach. On to 13th. His next victim will be Andre Moll. Up front though, Rosendahl has really got Jack Caminetto on a bit of string, tugging him along. Gap still 4 seconds. These two in a class of their own today. 17, nearly 18 seconds ahead of Visor there in third. Arella still behind him in fourth. Morgan in fifth. They've just dropped Dorr by 2.5 seconds, who's got James Mead right behind him. That's been the way for some time though. Van Hulk in 8th. Orion Schultz in 9th. DeLuca in 10th. Binnersley, we spoke about earlier, 11th. Mole behind him in 12th, and he'll have Kaki, who's 4 seconds behind him in 13th on his tail very shortly, I should imagine. Kaki about a second a lap quicker than those guys in the midfield. Let's go back to our common battle. I've been watching it pretty much all race. Visor, Arella and Morgan. You can see in the background how much they've dropped David Dorr. David Dorr defending against James Mead as best he can. to ask David at the end of the race how big a pain in the arse it was. I feel like James Mead would have been a lot further up this field if he hadn't had the few incidents with Morgan. I'm not saying he'd be ahead of Visor, but he must have lost a good 3 or 4 seconds with a few incidents here today. And that would put him currently in 3rd position. Just-ish. But as it is, he's currently sat behind a big fat back end of David Dorr's AMG. I mean, there's worse things to look at, let's be fair, but one thing that's better to look at is a nice open track ahead of him. Right, the 3 in front looks like that's getting a bit tasty. Let's go on board with Varela. Which is the one we like? Where's the dash? No. Just want the one that gives me that. There we go. That's the one I wanted to see. Is that Visor? We wanted a Varela. Thank you. There we go. I love the sound of this McLaren. It's like I'm at home again. If only I could drive it in a straight line. I can drive it, I just can't drive it straight. Harder than the brakes, Arella. Quite hard over the curbs in McLaren as well, not the easiest one to jump, a bit like the R8 I think as well. It does rotate very well, a bit too well for me. And down the straight they go. Visor crosses the line in 3rd, Arella 4th. Really good driving from also Visor here. I don't think he's put a wheel wrong all race. I can say that with confidence. He isn't going to do a commentator because I know. I've just got that feeling. The geezer's above what I've got to offer. It's like I've said it about Ralph. Ralph would never stack it either. So I know I'm safe with these ones. I can speak with confidence. Rosendale still 4 seconds of Camaletto. Oh, Morgan goes really wide in spoon there. Just carries too much speed for the first part. Recovers it through the second. He's going to have to be so careful. No time gained obviously there. You can see he's dropped back half a second off the back of Arella, but he's got to be so careful. Those track limits. Callum could just add a little bit of consistency to his driving. He'd be one of the top guys at both RRLeagues and PitStop UK. Drives for both communities. A couple of little errors here and there just ruin what could be a very, very quick driver. You leave my controller play out of it, you. I've never been more dexterous with a mouse, a keyboard and a controller with 2 hands. Should have seen me shooting zombies like you wouldn't believe. Back for blood. Visor, Arella, Morgan, sorry, in chat there. Come on, David Dorr. Pull that 3 seconds back. I demand it now. Come on. Schultz now pulled out a bit of a gap on DeLuca after sitting behind him for most of the race. 4 seconds now. He's ahead. In fact, yeah, 4 seconds. So you can say about Binnersley and Kaki, but there's a bit of a gap there actually. Kaki's past mile as we thought. He's got 12 seconds to make up on Binnersley, and even at a second a lap, that's not really doable. So Binnersley, oh no! One of the Castro boys goes off there. I'm not sure who that was. Got an accident with Peck. Have we got time to look at that? No, we've got. This is all getting a bit close, isn't it? So an accident with Peck, but yeah, it looks like Peck's out the race. Petter Peck, we looked at earlier in the Ferrari, is out. That's a shame. I've got an accident with DeLuca. Let's have a look at that one while we've got a minute. It's a shame ACC doesn't actually keep the race playing as we go. Oh, it was with Peck as well. Look, there's Petter Peck on the inside. DeLuca. Oh, wow! Wow. Well, there you go. That's what happened there. Petter Peck and DeLuca overtaking a back marker. The two of them came together, brushed. Peck in the wall and DeLuca the same. And that's why Schultz is so far ahead of him. That answers a lot of questions right there. So Gianluca DeLuca will be a little bit cheesed off with his pass there on Peck. I'm not quite sure how close they were. Should we have another look at it? Why not? Pfizer, Arella and Morgan are still all close together. So I'll come back to that battle once we've seen this again. Just see who's at fault here. Remember, Peck is the blue flagged car. DeLuca comes up behind him. Oh, thanks for that. Got to love Assetto Corsa Competizione, haven't you? Right. You have to watch it back on stream and you can tell me. There we go. Visor, Arella, Morgan. David Dorr desperately trying to close that gap down. I think he's fixed for 6th if it stays like this. They're all on about the same pace. Fastest lap Rosendahl over 2 minutes 174. Camineto's got the gap down to 3 seconds now though. Is he putting on that charge? Is that Porsche eating through its tyres like it did in the first part of the race? And Caminetto managed to get it down to within a hair's breadth. The closest he ever was as they went across the pit lane and have their pit stops. Caminetto down to 3 seconds behind Rosendahl. Those two 20 seconds ahead of this battle for 3rd between Visor, Arella and Morgan. David Dorr there in the Tangerine Mercedes back in 6th, ahead of James Mead, Van Hulk, Florian Schultz, Gianluca DeLuca, Binnersley, Kaki, Moll, Nigel Wood, who was in 3rd place during the pit stop phase. He ran that Ferrari really long on the fuel, down in 14th, ahead of Aaron Cleaver in 15th, Jim Britton, crew chief himself 16th, Tejera 17th, Fredrickson 18th. Brother Schultz 19th and Tweeden 20th. Ryan Leach finds himself down in 21st. He won't be happy with that. Neither will Jazz Forsberg in 22nd. Mike Wyatt 23rd in the purple Bentley. And let's just go down the rest of the field. 24th Parry, Cy Fillingham 25th, he will be spitting feathers. And Dusan Magyar brings up the tail of field 26. 33 started, 26 remain, led by Roosendaal. Across the line, Teixeira again pulls over and lets the front through, or the third, fourth and fifth through. Again, really good driving from the team there. Special shout out to those guys. You want to learn how to drive under blue flags, that's how you do it. Move over early on the straight, let them through, get your corner back so you can take it. Camaletto 2.8 now the gap. Morgan starting to look interested on Arella. Here's Callum Morgan's view out of his windscreen. Nice frame rates from ACC, that looks lovely and smooth. I hope it looks that good on stream. Looks great on here. Plenty of grip still. And the Aston Martin there. Really scrubbing it all through spoon. Up straight they go. You can just see Visor ahead of Arella. Morgan drops through the gears through there. I wonder if he is on that final warning. He just doesn't want to push his luck. You can carry the speed through spoon up through 130R, that is the overtaking place as you dive down into the chicane. You've really got to set that up about a mile beforehand. It all starts really out the hairpin. Any cam shot of these three. Been that close now pretty much all race. Dor and Mead have also been a part of that battle at times. In fact, Dor was leading that battle at one point, but now they find themselves trailing Visor, Arella and Morgan. Dor and Mead now 4.5 seconds off the back of these three, so pace at the end really starting to show out now. Speaking of pace at the end, Camaletto 2.3. There's the view from Jack's helmet, and that is his prey up front. Mark Roosendaal 2.3. The gap was 4 seconds just a few laps ago. Camaletto really starting to pull that gap back now, taking plenty of pace through 130R. As the Bentley comes good, is the Porsche giving up? That cone's very annoying in the middle of the track there, isn't it? What's the gap over the line? Let's see. When Tweeden goes through, 40 laps gone, the gap 2.0. Camaletto's got 8 minutes to get onto the back and past Roosendaal. Can he do it? PitStop UK lead, RRLeagues second. PitStop UK third, RRLeagues fourth. Callum Morgan fifth. RRLeagues sixth with David Dor, and PitStop UK seventh with James Mead. Been a cracking race to watch, guys. Thank you at this point. If you have enjoyed it, please don't forget to give us that thumbs up button. If you are watching this after the race, leave a comment in the comment section. It does really help the algorithm. Let us know, or let people know that this was a race that, well, this is a broadcast people really want to interact with, so it really does help if you're watching after the stream. To all you drivers involved. telling me all the things I've got wrong, all the names I've murdered. Leave it in the comments. I promise you I will come back to you and apologise profusely if you deserve it. 1.8. Sorry, I don't know why I'm saying it. You can see it as well as I can. Rosendahl realising Caminetto's pushing, starting to respond. Gap was 2.2, it's still 2.2, up from 1.7. Back markers though in front I saw, yep. And through the S's is not the place to catch them. Right, I think by the time they get through, I should step out of the way so we're up to the Degners. Let's just go back and check that the battle for third, well, that's as it's always been. Very exciting, but it hasn't really changed much. But it's probably now as close as it's ever been. Visor, again that Porsche is struggling at the end of its second stint. Arella looking around Morgan looking around the outside of Arella. That's not going to happen through the S's there. Up the hill they go. And the left-hander towards the Degners. Nice driving from all three of them this. Second part of the race, kind of more, but whoa, Redder right up close as Weiser was slow through the hairpin there, looking for the quick exit. And Redder got right under the lip of his spoiler there. Could almost smell, well, you could smell the Porsche rub coming out the back of that. Squares it up early for a run up straight. David Dorr still pushing along in the background. Towards the chicane they go. Just 4 minutes to go. 3 laps I'm guessing. Where is Rosendahl? He's already through the S's, so I should imagine there'll be 3 more laps, including this one. Caminetto back with 1.8. Whatever happens, it's been a fantastic race from both of these guys. To be as close as they are. And I'll take the battle on in a week's time to Zandvoort. And I have to say, if my money was on anyone at Zandvoort, it's Jack Caminetto. And if Rick Binnersley's in a Bentley, which he is, I'd also watch out for Rick Binnersley. Those two absolutely mullered an event there not so long ago. Hands and fist and everything else above the rest of the field. So watch out for Caminetto at Zandvoort. But also, watch out for Rosendahl. These two now. 2.5 minutes to go and they're that close. What a race it's been. That's how close it is. Oh no! Oh! I don't think that's Caminetto's fault. I think it was just on the inside. In fact, let's watch a replay. Caminetto and Rosendahl came together through 130R. Rosendahl looks like he just got it wrong on the in. Yeah, he did. cut in front of Camaletto. Oh, wow. Well, there we go. Whew. Camaletto leads. Rosendahl had to go into the pits after that accident. Big crash there at 130R, carrying some speed. We'll look at that after the race, but I have to say, I think that was Camaletto putting pressure on Rosendahl. Rosendahl caught the inside of 130R and it threw him across the front of the Bentley of Jack Camaletto. And as he caught the front of the Camaletto, he spun the rear of the car and a big head-on accident into the tyres on the outside of 130R. Camaletto, though, continues in the lead. Weiser now makes it up to second. Arella goes third. Camaletto fourth. Rosendahl still in the pits. Obviously, that car too damaged to continue, although with a lap and a half to go, I'm pretty sure with Rosendahl's skill, he would have been able to get that car round, no matter how bad it was. But he chose to come into the pits, only he'll know how bad it was. Wow, sorry, I'm a bit speechless after that. I don't know what to say. I mean, we were hoping for a really head-to-head, and literally it happened on the first corner. They came together. That's as close as they've been all race. And the first time they go side by side, there's a huge accident. Camaletto is going to slow down now just to make sure he crosses the line. And there he goes. That's his win. Jack Camaletto wins round one of the PitStop UK RR Leagues mashup. Marcel Weiser is going to find himself with a very nice second place here. He's driven really well all race, but I don't think at any stage did he think he would be ahead of his teammate, but that's exactly what's happened. Weiser comes home in second. Arella comes home in third. Nice race from Callum Morgan there in fourth. David Dorr with a pain in the arse in fifth. And James Mead, who's seen everything as well this race, in sixth. And I have to say, Nico van Hulk has driven really well. He's going to bring that Bentley home for seventh. That's a great performance from him. Nice drive. Nico van Hulk comes home in seventh. Florian Schultz just coming up through 130R in his Porsche. He's going to bring that home for eighth. Comes through the final chicane, through the final corner. So Florian Schultz coming home in eighth. Behind him, Gianluca De Luca, they're coming together with PitStopUK up the hill towards 130R. Both of them ended up in the wall. Comes home in ninth. Who knows what that could have been. Rick Benesi, great drive from him there in 10th. Jussi Kaki is going to be your next one over the line, although not that one. That Jussi Kaki there, after his rather unfortunate stop and go. What could have been for him? Watch out for him at Zandvoort. He comes home in 11th. Andre Mol in the eBay car. Great to see Andre having a nice clean race. Brings that Lexus home in 12th. Well done for him. And just behind him is the unfortunate Mark Rosendahl. What could have been there as those two went together, him and Jack Camaletto, the race winner through 130R. I don't think it was anything other than a racing incident, but a very unfortunate one, whatever. Thanks all you guys in chat for following us along in the race. That's been fantastic. While the race finishes, let's exit out of there and let's go and see if we can find that replay. Bear with me, caller. We're getting there. Let's go on board with Jack Camaletto. 103, sorry, 13, I think his car is, isn't it? Where is he? Oh, I had this at the start. Let's go and find something up here. Right, so there's Arella. Let's go forward. That's going backwards. There we go. There's Camiletto 13. Right, okay, so second last lap. Funky graphics again. Just fast forward a little bit. Here we go. Must have been. In fact, let's just jump back a little bit because it looks like somewhere there we can just jump forward on the cart. No, wrong way. Here we go. I'm guessing there was a mistake from Rosendahl somewhere because Camiletto suddenly found himself right up his tailpipe. Oh, here they go. He's going up to the Degners. Through. Oh, and there you go. That's what happened at the exit. Degner 1 got wide. Camiletto saw his opportunity. Mr. Camiletto, we're just watching a replay between you and Rosendahl there at the end.
Oh, yeah?
Just watching you going through the hairpin together. Up towards Spoon. I mean, how did you see it from your point of view?
That we went side by side through, what's it called, 190R?
130R, yeah.
130R, and we went slightly not 190R. And he understeered, I think.
Yeah, just look at now, we think, or I think he just caught the inside of the curb as you went side, and that just flung him into your car, and then obviously pushed him into the wall. But we're just watching it now. Let's slow it down a little bit. So you don't get to see this, do you, live? I'm sorry. So up the straight into the corner they go. Yeah, it goes onto the grass. That pushes him into your front of your car. Yeah, completely absolved of blame, my friend. If you had any worries or any doubts.
I will sleep easy. Thank you very much for confirming that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a steward, don't get me wrong, but I think you're clear. I think you're clear. But a cracking race, cracking performance. The two of you was so... I think that's the only mistake he made all race. And what happened to you in the pits? Because you were right behind him coming into the pit stop.
He simply had a very good pit stop, and I had only a good pit stop.
Oh, I see. Because it was about 4 seconds when you came out. I was like, how has that happened? Because I know you pretty much know your stops every now and again, so I was quite surprised to see that.
Yeah, he just had an absolutely perfect stop. And yeah, mine, I slightly overshot my box. It wasn't by much. I had a smile when it went up on the jacks. I was like, ah, that was okay. But then, yeah, to see him come out 4 seconds ahead when he was 1 second ahead after we went in, it was a bit like, ah, he obviously, I don't know what to do with that. I mean, he's clearly feeding his pit crew some sort of energy drink, and my pit crew are tired.
So just confirm, it is a standard 30-second stop, isn't it? Fuel and tyres, and that's it. So there's nothing in the pit stop at all. Yeah. It is just hitting the mark spot on and getting going as well.
That's right, yeah. So for the 1.5 hour races, the 90-minute races, there's a mandatory tyre change, and during which, whilst you're changing tyres, you can refuel at the same time. So it's just 30 seconds plus any damage you might need fixed to do the stop. But yeah, it's just as you said, it's all about just hitting your mark, stopping square in the box, so you can go straight up on the jacks, and the pit crew don't need to move the car at all. Super.
Ryan Leach is also in chat. How you doing, Ryan?
Hi fellas, how you doing?
How did you enjoy that?
I'm doing. It was going so well up until the end of the first third, I'd say, until I span the exit 130R all on my own, and it just went downhill from there.
Oh, but mate, feel for you.
Well done, mate. You boys just drove away at the front.
Yeah.
There's no way I could compete with that today.
I was pretty surprised, to be honest. Like, I think everyone in practice seemed very, very close. Callum Morgan seemed insanely quick in practice, and I definitely thought I'd see him right at the front, but I don't know if he was maybe...
Yeah, he's in team radio. He was saying he was in a bit of traffic. He couldn't get past. I think it was Tor and I'm not too sure who else it was now. but he said he was faster. He felt he had the pace, but he couldn't find the gap to get through, which is typical Suzuka, really.
Yeah, him and James had a really good battle for the first half of the race. They came together a couple of times.
James Mead, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know where the two of them would have been had they not had their little issues at the start of the race, because the two of them had a lot of pace, but both find themselves sat behind cars during most of it. So yeah, I can understand where they're coming from.
Yeah. And I was fairly disappointed with my race, but hey ho, move on to the next one.
So speaking of the next one, Mr. Camaletto, I know how quick that Bentley is in your hands around Zandvoort. Are you looking forward to that?
Yes. But now I've said that, I'll probably.
Well, I dropped that into the stream, and somebody said it's the other guy's. Do you know what, that's really rude. I forgot his name now. That's only Roosendaal. Sorry, Mr. Roosendaal. Apologies. That's his home racetrack as well. So.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Rivalry's renewed.
Brilliant. Can't wait.
Yeah. I heard your team had a bit of an incident as well. He was out early on in the race, unfortunately, Radek.
Yeah, we weren't on comms before.
Ah, I see.
But I saw at one point, I was like, I wonder where it ran. 30 seconds. So yeah, I don't know what happened, but
I did. Yeah, Timo, he did have an incident on pit entry as well, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
Oh god, yeah. So I'm sure I'll find out. I'm sure he'll tell me everything.
Just watching you cross the line again, mate, just for your victory. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I've got to say, a little bit biased. Sorry, Ryan. That's one up for RR Leagues.
Oh.
There's always next time, except for Zandvoort. I think you've got the winning car there, mate.
We've got, I think, with the forecast is rain in Zandvoort, so a little bit different from the norm.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting, actually. I think it would be cool having a wet race so early on. In the championship, a lot of leagues tend to leave a wet race until a little bit later. So I think it'd be nice to mix it up with a wet race early on, and then we'll go on through the season.
To be honest, I think a wet race might suit me a little bit more.
Yeah,
being in the Aston, but I suppose we'll find out come 7 days' time.
That's it. Only 1 week to wait.
I know. That's a really good. Well done for planning that. That's lovely. I love this 1 week thing. I won't be saying that in 6 weeks' time. I'll be absolutely knackered, but I'm quite looking forward to it at the moment. I'll pop into both the Discords and congratulate all the drivers. But yeah, Jack, from me to you, mate, well done. And I think you're clear on your steward's decision. So well done.
Hopefully so. Thank you.
Take it easy, mate. And Ryan, thanks again, mate, for joining us. Appreciate that. And again, well done for arranging this. It's going to be a cracking season.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks for the stream.
No worries, mate. Hope you enjoy it when you watch it back.
Take care.
Take it easy.
Goodbye.
So there you go. Race winner Jack Camaletto and PitStop UK admin Ryan Leach just telling us a little bit about their races. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I have to say it was pretty exciting right up until the very end. Camaletto eventually taking that win after that 130R incident. Oh my goodness. Mr. Roosendaal will be absolutely kicking the cat tonight. We're hoping to get him on chat, but unfortunately he's not come into the commentary box. And I can understand why. He's going to be very cross. But unfortunately, that's just one of those things I can't see unless you think differently. Leave it in the comments below if you do. I just think he just bit too much of the inside of 130R, went on the grass, and you could see the car just slightly snap right into the Bentley of Jack Camaletto, and unfortunately Roosendaal into the tyres from there, damaged car, and out eventually to finish further down the field. But anyway, enough of that. We'll look forward to race number 2 next Wednesday. And you know what, while we've got you, let me just do a quick promo. Please hang on, because on Sunday the WTCR League starts at RR Leagues. If you're into Race Room, join us for our Touring Car Championship. 6 races to run alongside this championship with PitStop UK. Please, if you're not joined up with this one and you have got Race Room, you enjoy it, these are cracking fun. Always great races. Got some really good drivers in there as well, all the way through the field. So please, still some spaces left for that. Hop on over to Race App to put your registration in there. If you're watching this and you're not sure where to go, just go to rrleagues.com. All the information there to join this series and sign up as a reserve for the series you've just watched. We are full, but you can sign up as a reserve, and if we don't have a full complement of drivers as we didn't tonight, you're more than welcome to race with us as a reserve driver. So, yes, there we go. I'll say it once again, if you haven't liked the video, please do so. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button, which I'm guessing you PitStop UK guys haven't done yet, please hit that as well. And then that way you'll get a quick, easy way to find us when you're watching a race back next week. Anyway, enough from me. I've thoroughly enjoyed that. I've almost lost my voice because it's been 2.5 weeks since I've done any commentary at all. So I shall leave you to enjoy the rest of your evening. And think of me on Saturday when I jump into my car in ACC and my HUD is all over the place and takes me about 2 hours to try and get it right. Thanks for that, guys. That's part of the life of being a commentator. Anyway, I'll leave you with that and we'll see you hopefully on Sunday for WTCR. Take care, guys, and see you later.